In the next edition of It's About Money, my guest will be Karrie Laughton, and she is the founder and owner of Lux Lounge and also ROC Paper Straws. It's quite a combination and one that's intriguing. So join us for the next edition of It's About Money. Hello and welcome to another edition of It's About Money. I'm Nannette Nocon and thank you for joining us. I'm thrilled today to have my guest to be Karrie Laughton, and she's the founder and owner of Lux Lounge as well as the ROC Paper Straws. I think we're going to have a really good conversation between those two.
So excited to be here. Thank you for the invitation. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. So let's learn about your business. Can you give us a history of Lux Lounge?
So Lux started back in 2002, which when we officially launched, September of 2002. We just had our 22nd birthday party.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I know it's been a wild ride, but it's been a lot of fun. So Lux started, I originally went to school, I went to RIT for photography, but while I was in school, I was bartending. So I bartended for many, many years. And I actually really fell in love with it. And I felt like it was like just, I was good at it. Like I just loved it. So even though I had a photographer's degree, things were kind of changing in the photography world. I was turning more digital when I was into old school film. So I was like, I'm not sure if this is really what I want to do. But I loved being in the bar. So I got to a certain age where I was kind of like, you know, I don't want to be a bartender forever, so what am I going to do? And I said, you know what, I'm going to open my own bar. So I started the process of looking for a space, and I just kind of went for it. I got a little loan from my father back then, and found a cool bar, a building, and purchased the building, and the rest is kind of history, and people kept showing up. They've been showing up for 22 years, yeah.
That's a great location there at South Wedge, right?
Yes, I love the South Wedge. It's come a long way in the last 22 years. It was a little, I don't want to say, yeah, it was a little seedier back then, but it's really, really turned into a cool neighborhood, and I love it very much. I'm very proud of it. And I brag about the South Wedge all the time.
Yeah, and I know you volunteer also as the president of the BOSWA, is that right?
I'm co-chair of the Business Association of the South Wedge area, which is BOSWA, and we do a lot of great things for the community. We local art, we have community events. We helped get those really nice street lights that are down there now.
Oh, yes.
We help get those installed. All the planters that are around in the parks, we take care of them. So we try to keep the neighborhood just looking nice and inviting, and so people want to come down and check out all the good things that are there.
So do you think that continues to make Lux Lounges continues to be situated at the right spot there?
I feel like it's kind of the heart of the South Wedge.
Yeah, nice. So talk to us about the different performers that you have. How do you choose them, and how does that, it's a whole production, I'm sure.
It is. We have bands every Friday night. I used to do it myself back in the day, but it was just too much on my plate. So I actually hired this gentleman named Jimmy, and he is the owner of ROC and Rochester Productions, so he books my bands for me now. So, and we're very much on the same wavelength when it comes to music, so I trust in him to book events that suit the bar. So he's doing a great job.
That's wonderful. So that's really a nice collaboration between two businesses to make it succeed. You have consistent performers.
Yes.
And yeah, I love that. That's great.
And the great thing about having it on a Friday night is people are coming in either way. And I only charge $5 to get in, and all the money goes to the band. So we don't take a cut at the door at all. So the bands make really good money, so they're paid well, which makes them want to come back. And it's a low cover charge, so even if you're not there for the bands, it's still okay. You know, you're like, I'm willing to pay $5 to come in and have a good time. And hopefully the people that aren't there for the bands get turned on to something that they wouldn't normally go out to see. Sure. So it's a win-win for everybody.
Well, the price of admission is really kind of a low price point for impulse Yes, but
Correct.
it's hard to think twice unless you only have a buck. But it's wonderful that the bands, keep the.
They keep all the money.
Yeah.
And we have an ATM. So
Yeah.
a lot of people don't carry cash anymore.
Yes.
But yeah, so it's it works out, and Jimmy's been working for us for, gosh, like I think 2 or 3 years at this point. He's doing a fantastic job. So thanks, Jimmy.
Yeah. So tell me about the pluses and minuses of having a business such as Lux.
Oh my goodness. Well, pluses, I like being my own boss.
Yeah.
I want to say you can kind of make your own hours, but that's in a way not true, because any entrepreneur knows that you literally work 24/7.
Yeah, right.
So the minus is that you take your work home with you. It's like, as an entrepreneur, you live with it. You carry it on your shoulders all the time,
Sure.
which I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
So there's no really, going home and punching a clock out. You're always on. And in a bar business, it's a 24/7, because we have people coming in till 1 o'clock in the morning. So again, and by the time my bartenders go home, it's like 3. So you're really never off the clock. So that can be exhausting. But so that's kind of a minus.
Mm-hmm.
Another minus, you have a lot of employees that count on you. So you have a lot of responsibility, and people that, their livelihood is in your hands.
Sure.
So that can be a little bit of pressure sometimes, but it's also cool to see something that you created and is good for the community and people keep showing up to. And I hear great stories about how much, people, I love it when people come up and tell me how much they love coming to the bar and what an impact it's made on them.
Because they can walk to the bars. They don't have to worry about
a lot of them walk.
Driving and,
yeah.
drinking and driving. Yeah.
And I just like an example the other day at one of our community events, the Harvest Hoot Nanny. There was a group of ladies there with their children, and there's 3 women and there was like 5 kids, and they all met their husbands at Lux, which I thought was really sweet. So I'm looking at this beautiful family. I'm like, I helped make this. I helped make this happen. So it's stuff like that that really, when you're tired, you go, look at some cool stuff's happening. So
Sure.
I'm making a difference.
Yeah.
So that's a plus.
Yeah, you've been a business owner for a while, 22 years. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yes.
And now it's going to be hard to work for someone else, right?
I don't think I could do it.
Yeah.
I don't think I could ever do it. Once you start, I think it's in my blood. Some entrepreneurs you're kind of born with it, you know.
Sure, right. Just the way you think and the questions you ask yourself.
Yeah. My dad was this entrepreneur. He had his own business. A lot of my family members have run their own businesses, so I think it's in my bones.
That's great. So your dad understood that giving you a small loan to begin with.
He understood.
Very important.
Yes.
Kind of everybody needs a head start.
And I religiously paid it back. I paid him back in 3 years.
Oh wow, that's impressive. And you paid him back sometimes.
And I paid him back.
That's the important side.
I 100% paid him back. So.
And your mother was involved in founding the business, is that right?
So she helps with ROC Paper Straws.
Ah, gotcha.
So
okay.
So that's my second business. So she is the co-owner of ROC Paper Straws with me.
And how did that come about?
Okay, so back in 2018. I saw the viral video of the sea turtle with the plastic straw up its nose. I don't know if you saw it, but it was all over the internet, and the turtle's fine. But it was, it was kind of a traumatic video to see that, and I realized how damaging single-use plastics are on our environment. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I own a bar. I've been using plastic straws at that point for many, 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 many years. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm part of this problem, and what am I going to do to change that? So I decided to switch to paper straws. Mm-hmm. The problem was I was having a hard time finding a good paper straw. Anyone out there that has used a paper straw, most people are like, they're yuck, they're terrible. Trust me, I've heard it all. So they bad experience. So it took a while for me to find a good paper straw. Once I did, I was waiting 3 months to get my order because the demand was so high.
Oh, wow.
I know, right? So in my entrepreneurial mind, that's hard to say, I was like, I'm just going to make my own paper straws. How hard can it be, right? Like
There's
it's
a need.
straw. There's a need. There's a demand, and why not? So I kind of went down this rabbit hole, did some research on machinery, and one day I literally called my mom from a parking lot outside of. I was just leaving a restaurant supply store looking for paper straws, and I said jokingly to the guy, I said, you know what, I'm just going to make my own paper straws. And he said, young lady, if you do that, you can be a very rich woman. And I went, okay, I'm going to do that. So I literally went out to my car, I called my mom, I said, I have this crazy idea, what do you think of this? And she was living in Colorado at the time. So, we kind of went back and forth, and we're like, yeah, let's do this. I'm going to do some research. And then once we decided to do it, she moved cross country, and we started this venture together. And she's still there.
Oh.
She's there right now, probably wrapping straws. She loves running the machines.
Oh, well, that's great.
Yeah.
Probably very soothing to have to do that.
She loves it. It's so funny. She's 79, and she shows up every day, and she loves going to work, and she's very proud of what we've managed to build.
Yes. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, but basically, like, I went into this knowing nothing about
Sure.
manufacturing. And she was a retired nurse, so we literally learned it as we were going. I just started doing research, so I was like, we'll learn as we go, and we're still learning. But
Sure. I love that you have the guts, as most entrepreneurs have, to just move forward, do some research, move forward, and not be frightened by all the things that need to be in perfect shape to be able to do what you want to do.
There's so many things. There's so many things that I have to, Owning a business is very, very hard. There's a lot of details. But yeah, I wasn't scared.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So how do these straws look like? Are they a certain color?
They're
white?
They're beautiful, and I feel so silly I didn't bring them, but I will make sure that you get some. So we have all different kinds. Our most popular are just the striped, they're different colors. So we call it a rainbow mix. So in the box there's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and they're all mixed together. We have stripes, we have polka dots, we have a large array of novelty straws. So you can get ones that say happy birthday, congratulations. So just have fun designs on them. They have turtles, we have some naughty straws.
You're having fun with it.
We're having a lot of fun.
So your mother's not just like cranking plain boring straws. They're just
they're super fun. They're colorful and fun. We actually print them in-house, so everything is done in-house. And the great thing about it is the designs on the straws are made by a local artist, so they're not just generic images that are taken off the internet.
Wow.
So a couple of them are, like the ones that say congratulations, I did those, but like anything with a graphic on it is done by Magnus Apollo. He's local, and he's been really great about, so it's, it makes it a little more unique.
I see. So these straws are sold to individuals, to businesses? How are you marketing?
Both, yes.
I see, okay.
So you can buy them directly from our website, rocpaperstraws.com. But you can also buy them in some local stores. Our first big account was with Wegmans, so we are with Wegmans. So we're their private label. So if you go to the Wegmans and you look at their Wegmans paper straws, those are ours. We make them. It's in a Wegmans box, but those are our straws.
I see.
And we're also in their cafes and all the restaurants and their corporate offices. So we're in all 111 or 112 stores.
Wow, it's an amazing account to have gotten with a big grocery chain store.
Yes.
Usually that's like every manufacturer's dream, right? To be on this, get some shelf space. So
that was huge for us. So we just hit our 2-year mark for when we launched, even though we started in 2018. We got all of our machinery. We built out this space. And we got our machines 1 week before the COVID shutdown.
Oh.
So that was quite threw a wrench in the whole plan, and really threw things off kilter. But we're still here, we're still kicking, and we're hoping to land some more big accounts. But we're in RIT, which is great. And we just got picked up by Nazareth, so those are 2 great accounts, and I would love to be in, I'd love to see them in colleges all throughout the United States.
That's great.
And more shelves. Yeah.
That's great. We're going to take a quick break. It's been fun talking about this. We'll talk more about the ROC Paper Straws.
Okay.
And back to Lux Lounge. So.
Okay.
We'll be right back. My guest is Karrie Laughton, and she's the founder and owner of Lux Lounge and co-founder of ROC Paper Straws. We'll be right back.
There's something I need to tell you. This relationship isn't working. It isn't good for me. I'm breaking up with you. You are suffocating me. We're just no longer compatible. Also, there's one more thing. I met someone else. And it's a healthy relationship.
And we're back. I'm Nannette Nocon. It's about money. My guest today is Karrie Laughton, and she is the founder and owner of Lux Lounge and also ROC Paper Straws. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
So we started with Lux Lounge, then we talked about paper. Let's continue to talk about paper and switch back to Lux Lounge.
Sure.
So thank you. So how about the financials of making your own straws? So you couldn't get, so obviously the supply was slow for the ones that you wanted to buy, and you got this idea. How is it too financial like heavy? I mean, what is your commitment? Are you showing a profit right away? And
we are not yet. Okay. So the straw factory has not made a profit yet. Like I said, we just hit our 2-year mark. They generally say a new business takes about 3 years to make a profit. I don't know if hopefully it happens before the 3-year mark. We're starting to finally get some momentum. It's difficult with a new product, especially kind of a niche product.
Sure.
We are only one of about 6 paper straw manufacturers in the whole United States.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So most of the paper straws that you're getting, the bad ones, that fall apart, are coming in from overseas.
Sure.
So that's unfortunately where paper straws gets kind of a bad reputation, is because they're, most people are using an inferior straw. When I started this, I was like, I'm going to make the best paper straw, because I don't want, we don't need another yucky product on the market. So, oh my gosh, I forgot what the question was. But
well, it's just that, it's a financially intensive, but making a profit, and
it takes a while. Yeah. So, and this is a very different business, because you rely on accounts coming in to have money coming in, which is very different than the bar. The bar, we're open every day. So we have a little bit trickling in every day. This, you can go, with the manufacturing business, you can go long stretches where you have nothing coming in, and then you get a chunk, or a small chunk, or a big chunk, depending on, so our overhead is pretty big, and unfortunately right now our sales are not meeting that. But a couple more big accounts, fingers crossed, we're constantly working on that, and we'll be okay. Yeah. But it does take a while. So basically my other business has been keeping, my one business has been keeping 2 afloat for a while.
I see. So Lux Lounge has been doing the job.
It's been doing the job. So thank you, Lux. But
so if you go back to Lux, how long did it start showing a profit? It took you 3 years, which is very short, to pay back your dad for the loan. But did you start saying, oh yeah, this is viable? Like, how long did it take you to say that or feel that as you started the business? Was it right away?
I got very lucky with the bar. It was, again, yes, because there was money constantly trickling in.
Sure.
And you can, you can adjust your inventory to,
your profit margin.
Yes. Yeah. And also we started with a very short, list of employees. We think we had 8 when I started.
I see. Nonetheless, it's still a good payroll.
Yeah, it was. But now we're up to, I have 35.
Oh my goodness.
So most of them are part-time, which is totally fine. I get it. Most people are just, they have other jobs, or they're going to school or whatever. So, so you just, and luckily I had a bit of a following. I knew a bunch of people before I opened the bar, so they were kind of ready for something new, and they were excited for it. So I already had, I had built up a momentum. So the day I opened, we had a line down the street, which was great. And we don't have a line every night now, but we're still doing a solid business. So
Yeah.
I got very lucky with that. But also, I worked very hard.
I was going to say, this luck is nice, but then it's usually a lot of work.
Yeah, there's a ton of work that goes involved.
I imagine
that's involved. Yeah.
the marketing of paper straws is entirely different than
Completely different.
Do you sell the straws at the bar?
I don't sell them, but we do use them. Funny enough, well, the good thing about having the bar is when I was making the straws, I was able to use my, clientele as kind of my test subjects.
Sure, of course.
And I also use all the reject straws that I can't sell for some reason. They're perfectly fine, but there's,
Sure.
whatever it is.
I
so
love it. So there's no waste.
no waste. They all come to the bar, so you might just get a random straw.
Yeah.
But
It sounds like you have a retail outlet there, right at the bar.
I know, right?
Go home with the straws.
I'm fine with that.
yeah, that's great. So it sounds like there might be some niche opportunities there for some sort of events or sweet 16.
Yeah.
Bridal showers.
Yes.
Things like that. That's wonderful. That's great. Actually, I drink club soda.
Me
and
too.
So it's I know when it's a bad straw because it's icky after drinking a couple sips. But the good one, you can have your second glass of club soda and still be using the paper straw.
So ours can easily hold up for 24 hours.
Ah.
I'm also a club soda water drinker. I have them at my desk all the time, and I've literally used the same straw for days. Cannot recommend it, but it still holds up perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I'll go to the bar and I'll use the same straw all night long, and I'll be there for many hours.
Sure.
And so, long as I always say, as long as you're not like a bender or a chomper, if you treat it right, it's going to treat you right.
Respect the straw, it will
Respect the straw. But, it's paper. It's supposed to eventually break down when it ends up in a landfill.
Sure.
And
decomposes and
you can, and the other thing about our straws is they're gluten-free, which is a strange, a lot of people were asked, I didn't even think about it, but apparently a lot of straws that are coming in, they're being imported, are not gluten-free.
Oh my gosh, who would have thought?
Exactly.
Oh.
So we're proud to say that they're compostable, biodegradable, gluten-free, non-toxic. They contain no PFAS. PFAS is a big hot topic, so no forever chemicals. We're really making a great product, and we just got our USDA bio-based certification. So we just got a certification saying that they are 100% bio-based products. So
wow.
they're not hurting the environment.
Is that hard to get, that certification?
It wasn't hard. It's just you have to send them in, and
Got it.
they go through a testing process, and of course you have to send them money.
Yeah,
Everything
of
costs
course.
money.
Yeah. Well, but it's good enough that you knew about it, and that you could be certified, and that helps the brand. Right?
Yes, it does.
And how did you come up with ROC Paper Straws? I mean, it seems obvious, but
It is a little off. Yeah, it just ROC for Rochester, and I was a play on that old game Rock Paper Scissors, and I figured it was, I don't know, it just kind of rolled off. It just came out one day. I was like, oh my God, that's it, ROC Paper Straws. It says exactly what the product is. It represents our city, and
1 out of 6 in the United States. I mean, that's remarkable.
we're the only one that's women owned.
Oh, well, man.
Yes, I'm very proud of that.
Okay, yeah, gotta make sure that you market to all the right places, I'm sure.
Yes.
One thing I would say in Rochester is that people are very supportive of entrepreneurs. We tend to
Yes.
support local, big box organizations, restaurants or whatever are okay, but we tend to support more local, locally owned and
I agree.
operated and stuff like that. That's great.
Always buy local if you can.
Yes, we have to check out your website. So this is great. So what advice would you give to people, women especially, who are thinking about starting a business? You have 2 different businesses, one's service and the other one's manufacturing. So what would you say? Do you have a preference on one, or you both like one and get one established first before you start another one?
Well, so luckily with the bar, I have a great manager. So I would not have been able to do the paper straw business without Kevin, my manager. He's literally been with us since day one.
Mm-hmm.
And the bar has been established long enough, so I don't want to say it's like cookie cutter, but we have a rhythm and it works. So I was able to step away from that because I trust my employees.
Sure.
And I know the place is going to burn down and we're going to, you know. So I had a very solid business before I decided to start another one. If it was rocky, I wouldn't have. You shouldn't do that.
Sure, sure.
Because it's enough to have one business, but two is literally just, it's all consuming. So to be an entrepreneur, you have to be all in. You have to be willing to, like, basically, it's your child. You are going to live with it for a long time. And you're not going to get much sleep, and some days are going to be really, really hard, and some days are going to be fantastic. So it's a roller coaster ride, and you just have to be willing to do that. And if you have it, and you know, if you keep waking up and you're excited about it, and you keep thinking about it, and you obsess about it, okay. If you have a little bit of, I'm not sure, it might not be for you. You really have to be passionate about what you do.
Sure, and it's got to be something that moves you to really want
Yes.
to do it, not just a fleeting idea that can be expensive, you know. I mean,
Correct.
the visual, I have not seen that video, but a visual of a turtle with straw in the nose is not really a good thing, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, and then, you know, now the government is suing a big company about their lack of disclosure
Yeah.
on how little the recycling has been and really the pollution of the ocean.
Don't get me
That's it.
started. Yeah, that's
great.
another part of it. The whole single-use plastic industry is just, it needs to stop. So, and that has, I've learned a lot about that opening up the straw factory. So it's really made me aware of a lot of the horrible things that are happening to our planet. So this is our way of doing our little part. I know it's
Yeah.
just a straw, and it's a small part, but
Every
if there's
day.
other companies that do their small part, then it leads to big things. So
Sure. I'm sure I use 100 straws in my every year. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
easily.
So if you keep multiplying that by someone's lifetime, that's you know.
it really adds up. And
So
yeah.
does it require a lot of square footage to manufacture the straws?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we found a neat building over in the Plex neighborhood. It's over on Exchange Street.
Okay.
And it was pretty much an abandoned building over there. And we spoke with the landlords, and they were willing to build out a 10,000 square foot space for us.
Wow.
So they sectioned it off. We actually built the space out with our own money.
Okay.
So we have 10,000 square feet. And when we built it, it seemed very, very big. But now it's full.
Oh my
So
gosh! You produce a lot of straws.
a lot of straws, and the machinery take up a lot of space. So.
Sure. The printing and then the
Yes,
actual
so
making,
we
yeah.
have 2 winding machines, we have a printing machine, a slitting machine. So we take these giant rolls of paper and we slit them into bobbins. So it goes on a cutting machine. So we do everything in-house ourselves. So
Oh wow!
it's really interesting.
Oh,
It's
that's
really neat
great.
it's neat to watch it.
I met someone who makes jewelry out of paper from magazines.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you get all these different funky, news, different jewelry that is from a magazine or some.
Do they make like the beads? Or-
Beads and sometimes entire jewelry, necklaces, and
Huh.
just really amazing.
I love
I know
that.
what you mean on the beads, but this
Yeah.
one is just, she is Italian and she lived in Rochester for a bit, but she moved. But anyway, she made, so I just thought, wow, these paper products can be really moved into something else. You
Yeah.
know, so.
I
Well,
love
this has
that.
been fun. Thank you for being so open and sharing about your
Sure.
businesses. I hope we taught and shared some useful information to, I mean, we did actually, to our viewers. And so thank you for your generosity of your time. So.
Anytime. I love talking straws and I love talking bar business. So anytime.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you, our viewers, for joining us. My name is Nannette Nocon. Our guest was Karrie Laughton, who is the founder and owner of Lux Lounge and co-founder and owner of the ROC Paper Straws. All the best to you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This was fun.